Blog Talk Radio.
Check out the full episode of this on MENTELLECT Patreon.
I'm sorry for this delay on Blog Talk Radio. Can everybody hear me? I want to make sure I'm coming in class. Am I coming in clear? I was prepared to do this a night ago on Blog Talk Radio, but Blog Talk doing their little two-step, and they messing up right now. So we got this. Thank Tippy Turtle. We can thank Tippy Turtle for turning us on the stream yard. Like I said, we getting there. We've been a little, as far as the technical part, we've been a little lax in that because we didn't know all these different options we had. Blog Talk, when you get so used to doing Blog Talk Radio, you just pretty much fall in line with whatever they're talking about. But anyway, the wrath, you always heard of the wrath of God being destruction, death, famine, pestilence. Have you not? We've all heard that wrath of God story going back to the Old Testament and, God's wrath and all of this other business. Have we not? We've heard this before, correct? Does everybody else understand what I'm saying? We heard about God's wrath through physical things, right? Taking the famine, taking the food from the people, death and destruction and things like that. All right? Well, now we have a mental famine taking place. You see, that's the wrath of Ahmen, the wrath of the Lord. That's the mental famine that's taking place. What do I mean by mental famine? Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say the mental famine that's taking place. See, because right now, for the longest time, you always had a physical famine going on. You always had people starving, people with disease, people living in poverty. That's nothing compared to a mental famine. See, because the whole reason for all of that ultimately and having those physical famines is because there has to start first with a mental famine first. You have to be robbed of the word. And the word is MENTELLECT. The word is MENTELLECT. The ability to receive intelligence on a higher level to put you past all of those things of famine, pestilence, all the things that you face here on earth. Y'all clear on what I'm saying? In other words, it's a mental virus. The wrath of Ahmen is a mental virus. And that mental virus, like I talked about that years ago, is where you start to lose all sense of sensory. In other words, your senses start to dull. And why do your senses usually start to dull? It's because you get simple. A lot of our people get simple. They get emotional. They forget what they came here for. That's the wrath of Ahmen right there. The worst wrath to have is that mental virus where we lose touch of all important things. People start focusing on food, clothing, and shelter. Y'all don't understand, man. Roaches, rats, and all kinds of creatures find food, clothing, and shelter and material things, but what separates us from them? What separates us from them? You know what separates us from them?
For the complete broadcast, you're going to have to go to MENTELLECT Patreon. Go to MENTELLECT Patreon for this complete broadcast because it will not, I guarantee you, it will not be on YouTube. Subscribe to MENTELLECT Patreon and join the American Republic.
Subscribe to the Vendetta's Ethnic American channel, the Wise Men's channel from Brother Enru Janier. MENTELLECT Patreon, of course, subscribe to that. MENTELLECT Women's channel, so subscribe to all of that.
And subscribe to High and Mighty Talks on YouTube with NUBEN MENKARAYZZ.